What if I told you that the difference between closing a $500 project and a $5,000 project isn't your technical skills? It's the questions you ask. Most builders start immediately pitching AI agents and workflows when they should be acting like a doctor diagnosing a problem first. I help builders and freelancers land high-ticket clients and retainers, and I've closed $6,000 projects and $5,000 a month retainers using this exact question framework. Today, I'm breaking down the exact questions that I ask that turn a simple lead follow-up system into a $240,000 a year problem. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why asking how many leads do you get each month is worth more than any N8N certification. And if you want to land your first or next AI client, you can take part in the 4-week challenge inside of my free school community of like-minded people, where you'll find a free course that's honestly better than most paid courses out there, and you'll get direct one-on-one access to me for whatever questions you might have. The link is down below. All right, let's dive in. The biggest reason why most builders are stuck making $50 an hour instead of $5,000 per project comes down to one fundamental mistake. They price like broke freelancers instead of like consultants. And I know exactly how that feels because I was there too. A year ago, I was making $50,000 doing marketing for an insulation company. And when I first started offering AI automation services, I made this exact same mistake. I'd get on a call with the prospect, and within the first 5 minutes, I'd be screen sharing my N8N workflows, showing them all the cool nodes that I could connect, explaining how AI agents work. I thought I was impressing them with my technical knowledge, but what I was actually doing was positioning myself as a technician, someone who builds what they're told in exchange for an hourly rate. Let me show you what I mean. Think of it like this. There are 2 types of doctors. Dr. A sits you down, asks about your symptoms, runs some tests, understands your medical history, and then prescribes a treatment based on what's actually wrong with you. Dr. B walks into the room and starts immediately prescribing random medications that he found on ChatGPT without asking a single question about what's wrong. Which doctor would you rather have? Dr. A, obviously, right? But here's the thing. Most AI builders are acting like Dr. B. They jump straight into pitching N8N workflows and AI voice agents without understanding the problem that they're actually solving for. And worse, they have no idea what the problem is actually costing the business. And I get it, when you're technically skilled but you haven't landed any clients yet, it's tempting to lead with all the cool stuff you can build. You've spent months learning N8N, building workflows, watching tutorials. You want to show off what you know. The problem is, when you do this, you position yourself as a technician and not a consultant. And technicians get paid hourly rates, while consultants command premium project prices. And you can't command 4- and 5-figure prices without understanding the actual impact to the business for what you're building. The embarrassment of quoting $500 for something that's actually worth $50,000 to their business, I've been there and it sucks. But here's the thing about being an AI consultant. You need content to get clients. YouTube videos, thumbnails, social posts, but you're too busy building systems for the clients that you already have. And most creators are paying for separate subscriptions. Sora and Veo for video, Midjourney for images, maybe Runway. That's hundreds of dollars per month across multiple tools. This is what I use for all my content creation, Syntax AI, one platform with all the video and creative tools combined. Veo 3, Kling, image generation, everything. One subscription instead of 5 separate ones. I create my YouTube thumbnails, generate B-roll for videos, design social posts, all in the same place. Watch how this works. I need a thumbnail for this video. Jump into Syntax, generate the background image, add text overlays, create a few variations. Pick the best one, export, done. Then I need some B-roll footage. Switch to the video tab. Generate it with Kling or Veo, same platform. What used to require 5 different subscriptions and constant tool switching, now it's all in one plate. If you're creating content to land clients, consolidate your tools. Link is down in the description if you want to check out Syntax. Now let's get back to you getting paid. The framework I use goes from surface questions, operational pain, to emotional stakes, to financial impact. This is something I actually use in my business. And it's the difference between building cool stuff that nobody pays for and landing projects that transform both your client's business and your bank account. All right, so let me show you the exact questions I use that turn a conversation into a consultation. The first category is what I like to call surface questions. And these are just designed to get them talking and reveal their current priorities. Think of it like a therapist. You don't start by prescribing solutions, you start by understanding their world. And here's the thing, most business owners have never had someone who's actually interested in understanding their problems. They're used to salespeople who show up, pitch their thing, and try to close. When you ask genuine questions and actually listen to the answers, you're giving them something that they rarely get. Someone who's genuinely curious about their challenges, instead of someone who's just trying to sell them something. The first question I always ask is, what made you book this call? Or if they just reached out to me, like, what made you reach out? This immediately gets them talking about their pain points in their own words. You're not putting words into their mouth, you're letting them tell you exactly what it is that's keeping them up at night. Pay attention to the specific words that they use here. If they say, I'm drowning in manual follow-up, that's different than, I want to explore AI for my business. The first person has a bleeding problem. The second person is just curious. You want to spend your time with the first person. Next, I ask them to tell me about their business and what their priorities are for the next 6 to 12 months. This question is huge because it reveals what they actually care about. Maybe they're focused on scaling. Maybe they're trying to reduce costs. Maybe they're preparing for a big launch. Maybe they're trying to free up their own time so that they can focus on more high-value work. When you understand their priorities, you can position your solution as the thing that helps them to achieve what they actually want. You're not selling automation for automation's sake. You're selling the outcome that they're already trying to reach. I ask, what's not working the way you want it to? This is where they open up about the operational mess that they're dealing with every day. Let them talk here. Don't interrupt. Don't jump in with solutions. Just let them vent. The more they talk, the more ammunition you have for later. And these aren't interrogation questions. They're conversation starters that make the prospect feel heard and understood. And when people feel understood, they trust you. And when they trust you, they buy from you. Once they're talking, that's when you dig a little bit deeper into the operational mess. This is where you identify specific automation opportunities and time waste. It's like asking someone where it hurts before recommending surgery. You need to understand the specific operational pain point that they're dealing with before you can prescribe the right solution. The questions I ask here are, where are you or your team spending time on tasks that could be automated? And what do you wish was more streamlined in your business? These questions help them think of all the manual tasks that they're doing in their business that they probably hate. Data entry, copying and pasting between tools, manually sending follow-up emails, updating spreadsheets, all the stuff that makes them feel like they're running on a hamster wheel. But the one question that really opens the floodgates is, where are leads or customers falling through the cracks? This question just hits different because every business owner knows that they're losing money somewhere in their process. They just don't always know where or how much. And usually they feel guilty about it. They know they should be following up faster. They know leads are slipping away, but they haven't quantified it, so it just stays like this vague anxiety in the back of their mind. When you ask this question, you're bringing that anxiety to the surface. And that's a good thing because now you can solve it. Every minute of manual work that they describe is literally money in your pocket when you automate it. When they tell you that they spend 2 hours a day manually following up with leads, you're not just hearing a task, you're hearing a $5,000 automation opportunity. When they say it takes their team a day or two to respond to new inquiries, you're hearing lost revenue that you can help them capture. And I know what you're thinking, Lindsay, this sounds great, but how do I know what questions to ask if I don't know their business? Here's the thing, you don't need to be an expert in their industry. You just need to be curious about inefficiency. Every business has it, and your job is to find it. But here's where most people stop. They identify the operational problem and then jump right into solutions. That's a mistake. Before you prescribe anything, you need to understand the emotional and strategic stakes. I ask questions like, what's been the most frustrating part of all of this? And what have you tried already that didn't work? These questions do two things. First, they deepen the emotional connection to the problem. When somebody tells you how frustrated they've been, they're investing emotionally in the conversation. Second, when they tell you what solutions they've already rejected, you don't waste your time proposing something that they've already tried. Then I ask, what would solving this free you up to focus on? This question shifts their thinking from the pain of the problem to the pleasure of the solution. Now they're not just thinking about escaping something bad, they're thinking about gaining something good. Maybe they could finally take that vacation. Maybe they could focus on sales instead of operations. Maybe they could spend more time with their family. Whatever it is, they're now emotionally invested in the outcome. But here's the question that separates good consultants from great ones. If we could wave a magic wand and fix this today, what would the ideal solution look like? This is like asking someone to describe their dream house instead of just fixing their broken faucet. Business owners don't know what's possible with AI automation. They're thinking small. Maybe they want to save an hour a day or respond to leads faster. But this magic wand question opens up their mind to the full transformation that's possible. When I ask this question, that's where the excitement starts building. They start describing this vision where leads are automatically qualified, follow-ups happen instantly, appointments book themselves, and they never miss another opportunity. They're not just talking about fixing a problem anymore, they're talking about transforming how their business operates. The excitement of possibility when somebody finally asks what you really want, this is where the emotional investment starts building. When they can visualize the transformation, they're already mentally committed to making it happen. Your job is then to just show them the path. And now comes the part that separates consultants from freelancers, acting like a toddler. You know how toddlers ask why about everything? That's exactly what you need to do here. Keep asking follow-up questions until you can calculate the financial impact of their problem. Don't stop at the surface answer, keep digging. If they say, we're not following up with leads fast enough, ask, how fast are you following up with them now? If they say usually within a few hours, ask, well, what percentage of leads are you actually reaching when you call back? If they say maybe half, ask, what happens to the other half? Keep going until you have real numbers. Let me show you exactly what this looks like with a real example. When I was working for that installation company, I was talking to my boss, and he told me that we were getting leads from Angie, but we weren't following up consistently. And instead of jumping into solutions, I started asking questions like a toddler. How many leads do we get from Angie every month? 20 leads. Of those 20, how many are we contacting within the first few minutes? None. It usually takes a few hours, sometimes the next day. Okay, what's our booking rate on those Angie leads? About 20%. Okay, what's our booking rate on other lead sources where we follow up faster? Around 80%. Okay, what's our average project value? About $3,700. Now I have everything I need to show him how much this problem is actually costing the business. So basically, we were only booking 4 out of every 20 Angie leads when we should have been booking 16 out of every 20. That's 12 lost appointments per month. 12 appointments times our 40% close rate and 5 lost jobs times an average ticket of $3,700 equals $18,500 lost every month. Times 12 months equals $222,000 lost every year. And that's being conservative. The moment you realize that you're leaving multiple 6 figures on the table every year, that's when everything changes. Suddenly, it's not about building a cool AI agent anymore. We're talking about capturing massive lost revenue. And here's the key. I didn't tell him that he was losing money. I asked him questions that helped him discover it for himself. That's way more powerful than just making claims. When they do the math with you, they can't argue with it. It's their own numbers. And here's why the math matters more than any technical demo that you could give. When you can prove 6 figures in lost revenue, a $5,000 solution plus $1,000 monthly maintenance, that looks like a bargain. Like I told him, it's a drop in the bucket compared to what you're losing every year. This is the difference between selling features and selling outcomes. Features are what you build: AI voice agents, automated follow-ups, lead scoring systems, and end-to-end workflows. Outcomes are what those features actually accomplish: capturing lost revenue, scaling without hiring, never missing another opportunity, and freeing up time to focus on growth. When you show them the actual calculation on the screen, the leads, the conversion gaps, the lost revenue, they can see exactly how much money is walking out the door every month. The shock of seeing those numbers makes your solution feel like the most obvious investment that they could make. Here's what the math looks like when you structure it. Current state shows 4 booked appointments from 20 leads. Potential state, based on their other channels, shows 16 booked appointments from 20 leads. Gap analysis reveals 12 lost leads every month. At their close rate, that's roughly 5 lost jobs. Financial impact equals 5 lost jobs times $3,700 equals $18,500 per month, over $200,000 a year. Solution positioning becomes invest $5,000 to capture $200,000 plus in lost revenue. When you frame it like that, they're not asking, can I afford it? They're asking, can I afford not to do this? And I know what you're thinking, Lindsay, what if I don't have numbers that are that dramatic? Here's the thing. Every business is losing money somewhere. Maybe it's not 6 figures, but it's something. Maybe it's the cost of hiring another person to handle manual work. Maybe it's the time that the owner is spending on admin instead of on sales. Maybe it's the clients who churned because follow-up was inconsistent. Your job is to find it and quantify it. And if you ask enough questions, you will find it every single time. So let me be crystal clear about what this means for your business. Now you know exactly how to turn feature pitches into financial consultations that command premium prices. Instead of leading with, I can build you an AI agent, you lead with, I can help you capture revenue that you're losing. That's consultant level positioning that justifies consultant level pricing. The questions framework goes like this. Start with surface questions to get them talking. Dig into operational pain to find the bottleneck. Ask emotional and strategic questions to understand what's really at stake. And then act like a toddler and continue to ask why and how much until you can calculate the exact financial impact. When you do this right, you're not selling anymore, you're diagnosing. And when you diagnose accurately, the prescription sells itself. But knowing the questions is only half the battle. You still need to know how to position yourself as the consultant that can solve these problems, how to structure your proposals, and how to close the deal without feeling salesy. So if you want to land your first or next AI client, you can take part in the 4-week challenge inside my free school community of like-minded people, where you'll find a free course that's honestly better than most paid courses out there, and you'll get direct one-on-one access to me for whatever questions you might have. The link is down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.